Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having an excellent day. Today I'm going to be reacting to another video by Let Me Explain Studios called My Dog Was a Menace to Society. I've had dogs, but they've usually been well behaved, so I'm not sure what happened so that Becca would call her dog a menace to society. If I remember correctly, we were introduced to this dog during the I Thought It Was a Stick video that she released a few months ago, so we're going to see why Becca labels him as a menace. So we'll see what's going on here. The link to the original video will be in the description below. Please like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get watching this.
Oh, hello, my geeks and peeps, my explainers and entertainers, my little oo-de-lallies.
All right.
Rebecca Parham here.
Oh man, I don't mean to interrupt so soon in the video, but I have got to say I appreciate the intro. I have not heard the oo-de-lallies in forever.
This is like sort of the intro to her videos is one of the best things in my opinion.
Cozy little scene, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Just about the only thing it's missing is a dog curled up in front of that fire.
All right.
Really makes me think about the best and possibly naughtiest dog my family ever had.
Okay.
Let's talk about the legend himself, Charlie the Bassett Hound.
Okay.
For those of you who have never had the privilege of owning one of these floppy potatoes, let me clue you in on the main breed character.
Oh, those pictures were just so adorable. Let's see what to say. Snooper Booper, bad idea maker, happiness meter, flip flaps, dummy stubs. Man, I love how people describe their dogs in such like goofy yet wholesome ways. I'm enjoying this a lot already. It hasn't even been like a minute and I'm already enjoying this.
Characteristic. Basset Hounds are the embodiment of stubborn. People
Okay.
claim that they're stupid, but you see, that's the deception. Basset Hounds know exactly what you want from them, but they're also smart enough to know that the world isn't going to end if they ignore you. And that was Charlie. If the rules...
You know, that's really interesting. It's like something I've always wondered. Like, people often like say, you know, dogs are smart if you can train them easily, but is a smart dog a dog that easily obeys? Or is a smart dog a dog that chooses not to obey? Kind of philosophical, I know, but what do you think? Let me know. Are smart pets the ones that just automatically obey you, or are the smart ones the ones that sometimes give you trouble?
didn't serve him, he didn't listen. I wish I had the confidence of this dog. If his life were a classic hero's journey, he always skipped that step where you're supposed to refuse the call to adventure. Let's say you could speak dog and you're the NPC telling him, hey, you see that treacherous path over there? Don't go there. Big danger. You'll die 1,000 deaths.
Okay.
And he'd be like, well, that sounds like somebody who doesn't want me to have fun. Screw you. No ominous warnings of the dangers ahead. We're going to keep him from Mount Doom. And speaking of forbidden paths, I lived on my family's ranch back in the day, and the land was divided into 2 pieces. 10 acres fenced off around the house for the dogs, and the rest for our horses. There was one opening in the fence for vehicles to cross, but we put a cattle guard there to keep the horses and the dogs on their own side.
All right, you know, that's a good idea, but what do you want to bet that Charlie is somehow going to completely ignore that little divide and find a way through it and cause trouble? That's probably what's going to end up happening here.
And it worked perfectly.
Okay.
That is, until we got Charlie.
All right.
He, with his big Bassett brain, figured out that he just needed to lay flat on the ground like a pancake and army crawl his way across the cattle guard. We would constantly find him in the pastures just puttering around or hanging out with the horses and the barn cats.
Okay.
One time my mom saw him across the fence chilling by our duck pond, and she yelled, "Charlie!" And for some reason, when he heard that, he looked upwards towards the sky like God was calling him. Searched the sky and everything, like the staircase to the pearly gates was gonna appear before him. I mean, all dogs do go to heaven after all. Fun fact, Rachel was the one...
All right, well, that was a fun little reference there. It's so weird that Charlie would just look up towards the sky like that, but in a way, it kind of makes sense. Because when you think about it, humans are to dogs what God is to humans, you know, borderline, all-knowing, all-powerful beings. When you think about it, because from like a pet's perspective, we can do practically everything. We can do things that they could never dream of. So it's understandable why Charlie might look up like that.
Who named him Charlie, but I started calling him Charlie Barkins after the main character in that movie.
Okay.
And it stuck. He was Charlie Barkins to the whole family until the day he died.
Aw,
he
that's
also frequently went by Bassett Hound and Da Bass. We call dogs by their breed a lot in our family. Hey, German Shepherd. Hello, Labrador. How you doing, cattle dog? Speaking of cattle, this one time Mom was across the cattle guard putting the horses in the barn for the night.
All right.
When she was ready to walk back to the house, she spied a very large buck intently staring her down about 30 yards.
Wow. The little beady eyes look terrifying for this deer. And like, it's such a weird thing that a deer could look terrifying, because I'm sure most of us know the stereotypes of deer. They're these flighty, timid animals. But no, deer can be vicious if they're like defending themselves or their families, or if it's like during the rut, like breeding season. The bucks can get crazy aggressive. They will not hesitate to chase people. So if you ever see a deer, try not to provoke it, because, deer can mess you up if, you get on their bad side, if you catch them at a bad time. Just be careful.
Away. She thought to herself, okay, he is big, and he
Yeah.
can do some real damage if he decided to get territorial right now.
Yep.
I'm just gonna start walking away.
Good call.
She headed in the opposite direction of the buck, but when she was almost to the cattle guard,
Oh, no.
something was coming up fast behind her.
Oh, no.
Oh boy, this is it. I'm gonna have to fight Bambi. Here we go.
Whoa, Charlie.
Turns out that heavy galloping was just Charlie
Wait.
trying to race by Mom and beat her to the cattle guard.
Okay, alright. That was completely different than I thought it was. I thought for a second Charlie was gonna, fight off the deer and defend Becca's mom. But no, this is something completely different. I mean, it's so weird how a relatively small animal like a Bassett Hound can make a lot of noise. But it kind of makes sense. Like, we have cats, but the cats, when they run upstairs, it sounds like we have tiny horses in the house. So, if a cat can make a lot of noise, I think a Basset Hound can make a lot of noise too.
Possibly to avoid a scolding. Though Mom definitely had a few choice words to shout at him as he ran back to the house.
Understandable.
Charlie wasn't just a ranch dog. Oh, no. He was a corporate professional.
Really?
Mom, Dad, and Rachel would take him to the family business all the time, where he did very important work, like napping and sunbathing and walking from room to room, hounding people for love and affection.
That sounds like a good chunk of the workforce, unfortunately. Like, we've all had people at our jobs who just don't really do their job and just are there to take up space. But at least with Charlie's case, it's understandable and, even encouraged.
Anyone out there who's in a corporate job, though, try not to be a Charlie, okay? Try to be a productive employee.
Aww. So adorable.
There was a girl who worked at our office named Emily, and she would keep snacks and lunch items at her desk.
All right.
Well, one day, when the whole office was in their morning meeting in the boardroom, Charlie came waddling in carrying something in his mouth. He waited until he had the whole room's attention before setting the item down and looking at everyone expectantly.
Okay,
That's
what
when
was it?
Emily shouted, "Oh my God, is that my peanut butter?" While everyone was busy
Hang on. Oh, man. That was a great reaction. I have to hear that accent again. Hang on.
That's when Emily shouted, "Oh my God, is that my peanut butter?"
That was great.
While everyone was busy in the morning meeting, Charlie had rummaged through her food bag she left behind her desk and stolen her jar of peanut butter.
Amateur move,
Knowing
Emily.
full well he couldn't get into the good-smelling jar himself, he brought it to the humans to open it for him, acting like he totally didn't just do something naughty.
Clever in a way that Charlie recognizes his own limitations. Yeah, I don't have thumbs, but hey, let the humans do it for me. That's pretty smart. You gotta give him credit for that.
Charlie, you're fired. The thing is, that wasn't the only time he did something like that.
All
At
right.
the ranch, we kept all the dog treats in the pantry, a place Charlie knew he wasn't allowed to go.
Okay.
But if someone mistakenly left the box of milk bones on the floor of the pantry, he would go in, take just one, find the nearest human, and lay the treat down in front of you to ask for permission to eat it.
Wow.
It was almost like he was saying, "Hey, I can have this, right?" Well, I guess you can, since you asked so politely. Rachel tells me that he one time did this.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, at that point, you pretty much have to give it to him. I mean, he's already put his mouth all over it. It's tainted with his saliva, so he pretty much has to eat it now. What are you going to do? Put it back in the container so then it will contaminate all the other milk bones and make them soggy? I don't think so.
With a whole unopened box of treats, just pulled it from a grocery bag and laid it at her feet, expecting her to open it. I would think any normal misbehaving dog would just take the box somewhere and tear into it.
Yeah, probably.
But not Charlie. No. Such things were beneath him. Why should he get his paws dirty when one droopy-eyed stare makes every human do anything he wants?
Aw.
Oh my God, that face was so cute. I would burn down all of society for him. So one time, Charlie needed surgery, ironically, on his stomach. Probably shouldn't have eaten and destroyed so many things you weren't supposed to.
Wow.
Rachel went to go pick him up at the vet after the surgery, but when she entered the lobby, she heard a very mournful howl coming from the back.
Oh no.
And it just kept going.
I don't know. Did something go wrong with the surgery? Is there some other complications or something? This probably might not end very well, unfortunately.
Even as they let her into an examination room to wait.
Aww.
Oh, God, that's him, isn't it?
Charlie, that's enough.
Yep, it's him. Poor baby was so unhappy coming out of anesthesia that he howled from the moment he woke up until they brought him out to Rachel.
Alright, well, at least, like, it wasn't, like, a major complication. I was worried that, like, I don't know, he got an infection or something. He was just a sad boy. So, that's good, in a way.
In time, he needed to be put under for a series of tests, and when we brought him back to the ranch, he wandered over to my dad's garden, sat down, and just stared off into space in that spot for hours.
Oh, no.
Well, this is something I never thought I'd see. A dog having a hallucinogenic episode based on vegetables.
You know, you'll see something new every day, I guess. Oh, no. Poor Charlie.
I called him to come back in a few times, but dude was on another planet at that point. Didn't even notice my presence until I physically touched him. Must have been having one hell of a trip. A few more of Charlie's mini quirks. Look at this. Whenever he was just chilling, he would lie with his hind legs out to the side like
that's
this,
cute.
or stretched backwards like this. We'd walk by and call him Superman when he did that. He was also a summer bum because he loved jumping up on the pool furniture and soaking in the rays like he was getting a tan. Only thing he was missing was a coconut drink with a little umbrella. Another thing he
Cute.
loved was when I wore long skirts because he would treat me like his own personal tent. And every
Aw.
single time, he would peek out from underneath it with the cloth draped over his head like this. I'm pretty sure he
That's
was fully aware of how
adorable.
cute he was. And finally, he could
Uh-oh.
always tell when I was having period cramps and thought he was helping by lying on top of me. I appreciate the concern,
Okay. Alright. Charlie, I mean, it was nice attempt, but misguided. I don't think that was helping Becca at all. But it's so weird how sometimes pets are like that. Pets can just know when something is wrong or when you're like under distress or you're in pain. It's like they have like a borderline psychic ability to understand, but obviously they don't have the understanding to know exactly what to do, because if they did, I'm pretty sure Charlie would have got Becca some ibuprofen instead of just lying on top of her. You know, good try though.
Charlie, but I don't think your treatment's working. But then again, that always was Charlie's favorite place. On your lap. Now, all
Aw.
of these stories were just the tip of the Charlie iceberg.
Really?
Trust me, I would love to make another one of these videos, so please give me every reason to.
All
I
right.
want to keep the legend alive. Thank you so much for...
Oh no. Goes to Charlie. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Charlie?
Aw. Well, guys, that was another video by Rebecca Parham. Gotta say, I really enjoyed it. It's really funny and really interesting to get some insight into the mind of Charlie. Let me know in the comments below. Did you ever have dogs growing up? And were they troublemakers like Charlie was? And if you have any funny stories, let me know in the comments below. If you have any other recommendations for Let Me Explain Studios videos, let me know in the comments below as well. Please like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. I will see you in the next video. Bye.